There. Hopefully it goes out. Let me see. All right, so let me get this.
Hey
back up.
y'all, welcome to the TNT podcast.
Let me get this back.
We are just getting situated. Please come on in.
Uh-oh.
Good to have you in, Estime. Hello, welcome to the TNT podcast. It is Thursday, Talk Thursday here.
It is Thursday.
And as always, we're behind the scenes just trying to get everything going. Come on in,
I'm gonna be honest,
welcome.
I absolutely love the fact that this is how we actually do. I don't like the polish.
You don't like
stuff.
what?
The
Well,
polish.
we definitely unpolished today. Hey, JT, thank you for joining today.
Glasses.
Listen, we want some input from you guys. Love, lies, and incognito.
Yeah.
Oh,
I said yeah.
is that going to equal cheating? That's what we want to talk about.
What you think? If somebody's doing something incognito, that means that they don't want you to see what they're doing.
Exactly. Do y'all find that true?
Yeah, it's true.
Have y'all
Now
heard
it's
about
true.
incognito? I'm like, what is that? I had not.
Uh-oh.
Had you?
We gotta get this straight too. Here we go. Go back
you
a
cut
little
me
further.
off. You cut me
no,
off.
sis, we gotta go back.
Hold on one second.
There we go. There we go. Go back. There we are.
Hello.
Yes.
Well, listen, if y'all understood behind the scenes we have here, but listen, we are going to have legal Bestie on today.
Could be a surprise. Oh, I mean, it's they're incognito. Hey, Nico. Good to see you.
Nico is on time
So-
today. Y'all, please like and share because we got a special guest on today.
Ooh, I'm waiting for her. I'm waiting for her. If you see her, let me know. I'm waiting for her. I'm waiting. But in any event, tell them what we
Okay. So y'all heard the news. You understand?
Cowboys
we
fan.
in Dallas Fort Worth, so of course they love the Cowboys. We all love the Cowboys, right? Okay. So you all heard about Dak Prescott. You all heard about the breakup. So let's talk about the. There she goes. Hey. Injury right
Hey,
there.
that's her. Injury Symone. She's there. You
Okay.
can bring her in. Y'all, we got none other than my partner. That's legal bestie, my girl, my sister, Symone, Dr.
Doctor.
Redwine.
Hi, ladies. Can you hear me okay?
Girl,
Can you hear me
first of all,
okay?
Thank you. Come on, we know how busy you are. Thank you for coming on today. We appreciate you
I appreciate.
so
Where
much.
are you? I don't know. You still in Barbados? Girl, she might not know.
Bali. I'm in Bali.
She's in Bali. Okay.
You
I didn't know where she's in Bali.
You may not have wanted nobody to know that, girl. I'm
Girl,
sorry.
she be posting online. She goes.
Yes.
Posting her
No.
experience. I live vicariously through her.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I was in Thailand for the week, Phuket, and so I just got to Bali today, and I guess I have Bali belly or whatever they call it. It was like I feel so sick. So apologies
Oh.
for
What
not
did you eat?
turning off the camera. Everything, girl. I've had like seafood for days. I really enjoy Thai food, but the problem was I probably had way too many pina coladas and not enough water.
Oh no, you gotta drink water. You have to.
Yes. And as for Christopher Roy, keep watching Boo Boo. If not, take your ass to exit stage left.
You already know.
I'm
You
in-
gotta
I'm
ignore people
on
like
one
that.
today.
You know you got these trolls on here, girl. You gotta ignore this.
I'm on one today.
Hey, y'all that are on
Good.
here, like and share
Thank
because
you,
we
Cooking with
want to
Poppy.
talk about
Yes,
this.
yes.
We saw your I guess your podcast or whatever you did about this topic. So
Yes.
You did.
oh, what have been some of the comments from that one?
A lot of men are really excited. They didn't know that Texas has a child support cap, number
I
one.
didn't either.
I
Thank you, B.
know.
Johnson. I am. I'm calming down, B. I'm calming down. Thank you, love. Mwah. Texas, I didn't know some. I didn't. I was up there saying, I thought
She
she
was like,
made
no,
out.
no,
I was
no.
like,
I was like,
she made out good. She's getting 25% off that 240 million. And then she was
Ah!
like, nope.
I said, did you listen to it? Because Symone broke this all the way down. All the way
Not
down.
even close. So how it works, guys, for the viewers who didn't get a chance to watch is what I was explaining is that Dak calling off his wedding, it was probably his best move yet. And one of the reasons was because now they said that one reason they called it off is she wouldn't sign the prenup. However, she came out and said that's not true. That's not true. I hate when people come out and say, "Oh no, that's not true. I come from money." Girl, that don't mean you don't want his.
Thank
Um,
you.
Yeah.
The more they have, the more they want, honey.
Right. But there was also another version that said it was based on infidelity. Well, Dak, if you can't, and I don't know that to be true, but either way, what was interesting is I saw a comment that said, well, why would she care about a prenup? She's got 2 kids by him. She could clean up in child support. So that's why I said, oh, let me clarify because people don't know. Texas is one of the few states that has a cap in child support. So if I'm going to go ahead and say a man, because that's the situation here. If a man makes over $11,000 a month, they only calculate child support on that first 11,000.
Wow. And this was a change last year in 2025?
Yeah.
It's been that way. It's been that way for a while, but they increased the dollar amount to the 11,000. Prior to that, it was the first $9,000 and some change.
Wow.
Yes.
What? Oh my goodness.
It was 9,000. So what that means is if you have he has 2 children, so I forget the exact, like for one child, the max child support you would pay is about $2,300, and for 2 children, it's $2,950. So $2,950 is the most, even if you're Dak, even if you make $40 million, that's it. Oh, girl got to get up and go back to work. Okay, she was a bartender.
I have a question about that. Can
Yes.
she, Florida? Well, we're going to talk, where she's from, right? Can she get an amazing attorney and that somehow be fought because he is a billionaire?
So the answer, so how Texas views it is they don't like to reward people for being baby mamas, baby daddies, for not being married. What she can do though is she can go to court and she can fight for things like private school, competitive sports, dance classes. But you can't just say, oh, but if at daddy's house he's in a Bentley, so there should be a Bentley at mommy's house too.
Wow.
Also, here's the thing as well. So she could go to court and fight for private school and fight for more money for extracurriculars or perhaps even a nanny. However, he has the right to ask the judge, okay, judge, I'll pay for private school, but I'm going to cut the check to the school, not her.
See, Trey is on here saying he pays more than that is going to have to pay. I don't think he likes that.
In Ohio, he said, wow, I don't think that's fair though, you guys. Okay, I have to ask this. Sis, do you think that's fair, honestly? This gentleman made...
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Why?
The reason that I like it is because you can get more. It just gets paid to the vendors.
Okay.
So if you want, you shouldn't get the same amount for public school as private school, right? So if you're sending your kid to this $30K a year school, I think it's okay for him to cut the check to the school. Number 2, if it's competitive sports you want the child to pay, I don't have a problem cutting the check to AAU. But I also don't have a problem with her getting back up and going back to bartending, which is how he met her.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead, girl. Get them sparklers ready, girl.
I'm trying
and the
to
VIP.
So what about where they live? What about their home? What about her vehicle? You don't think that has any bearing on what she should get a month?
Yeah, and somebody said private school is a write-off anyway.
No, it's not.
It's
not.
Not
Not at all.
Where
would you? Where would you write up? Now, some states have school vouchers. Maybe she's thinking of that, but even then, school vouchers never cover the amount. So, like, even if you get like an $8,000 private school voucher, the school itself, you can't go to a good private high school for that amount.
No.
Sorry, I just interrupted. You had a really good question.
Yeah, I mean, your question was...
So I said, what about her living arrangements? So her house, her cars, just clothing.
Was it?
That's should have got married.
You can't even...
Should have got married. You got to get up and go to work. They said if daddy has to go to work, you have to go to work. And if you don't like it, give the kids to their daddy.
I don't agree with that because I don't believe anybody should have a free ride. I think they should all be working. But Hey, I guess that kind of,
So
gold diggers.
yeah,
They're
they
going to be digging for
don't.
gold around here with these kids.
So Texas doesn't want children to be a route to riches. You shouldn't. Their thought is like, yeah, you shouldn't be sitting around thinking, okay, I say she looks like Tuesdays. Okay, she's.
I got that.
Yeah.
You might want to explain to people
explain
what
what
you.
Tuesday
Yeah,
is.
what are you saying with that?
So when I first saw it, she looked like I was very surprised because in the past he's dated beautiful women. So when I say a woman looks like Tuesday, it doesn't mean you're unattractive. It means, well, guys, what'd you do last Tuesday? Not this week ago. Nobody knows. It means you're forgettable. Okay? It means you happen. It means you exist. But I might have to meet you 3 times to remember your first name. It just means you don't look like mud. That's what I'm saying. You're not bad looking. You're not great looking. So I could see why I might have cheated on her a little bit. But that's the other reason why.
You're wrong for that. You're wrong. Tomorrow,
Well,
you're wrong for
also,
that.
I mean, she's like, when I think of getting married, right, and I'm going to assume she's in her 20s, I always think of like, you have to think to yourself, is this the best I'm ever going to meet? Now, Dak, you knew better. They met and he got her pregnant in the first 3 months.
Wow.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that was his choice. Then
that's
he
why
had
I
another.
said
he had another. Yeah.
You're right. And
So,
then the second one was like closer to the time of the engagement, right? So he was being irresponsible. Oops, sorry. So he was certainly being irresponsible. But a lot of people were surprised with the numbers, right? The child support numbers in this case. Yeah. And the reason why I say it was good to call off the wedding is now he doesn't have to worry about a divorce. All he has to worry about is $2,900 a month in child support.
I just find that hard to believe.
It blows my mind. And she has 2 kids. Unless, Symone, you said if she goes to Florida and she's there for 60 days, right? And she's got residency.
Yeah, 60, 90, whatever it is. Yes. 60, so I 90. Said an alternative. So this is what the girlies do now. It's so interesting how people like to use their vagina instead of their brain sometimes.
Yep.
So we'll use the example of Tristan Thompson's baby's mom. I can't remember what her name is. She is from Houston, met him in Houston, conceived the baby in Houston. She consulted an attorney with respect to child support, and they told her the numbers I just told you. And at that time, she would have been able to get a max of $2,300 a month, $2,350 from Tristan. So what she did is she got up while she was still pregnant, moved to California, and in California, I think she was ordered about $25,000 per month because California doesn't have a cap. Now this girl, Sarah Jane Ramos, the bartender, she calls herself a winologist. Okay, whatever. Yeah, the bartender is from Florida. Okay. So an option that I said that she has is she can get up tomorrow, take the kids with her to Florida and say, oh, my parents are my support system. I'm there. Oh, I'm so sad calling on my wedding. Everybody knows she probably really is sad. And once she stays there long, it's either 60 days or 90 days for Florida to become your resident. Then she could file for child support in Florida and get about $40,000 a month instead of $3,000.
Is that the highest state that you're aware of?
No, California, to my knowledge, has the highest.
There's no cap, she said.
There's no cap. My goodness. That's crazy. So can she legally just do that and take the kids without his consent?
But if he files first.
Why not? Now, hold on. Let's do, my ADD. Let's do one question at a time. Why not? Let's think it through, guys. Why couldn't she?
But what if there is a court order in their visitation?
There's not.
There's not.
So there's not. So yeah, before we add more facts, what the question you just asked is probably one of the most popular questions I got on the YouTube video. You can go to my YouTube, guys. It's called Girl, Is That Legal? Where I broke this down. But that was people's number one question. They said, she can't just get up and go to Florida. Right. Okay, what law school did you go to? Because you can't. What would be the crime? Let's think about it. If a mom takes their kids to Florida and decides, I want to live in Florida now, what's the crime? What I want people to understand is You can't kidnap your own child. It's not a crime.
Well, let me ask you, what about those Amber Alerts that say, hey, the kid is missing and it's with the mom?
The key difference is there's a court order in place.
Okay.
So you cannot kidnap your own child where there is no pending legal process. So if there is not, even if someone just files and says, hey, like if Dak wanted to go tomorrow and say, hey, I want to put myself on child support since Texas is so favorable, the minute he does that, she can't leave with them kids.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because that hasn't happened, and the advice many like if you were my homegirl, the advice that I would give if Sarah was my homegirl, because Sarah's never gonna make that kind of money she can make by opening her legs like she did there. So what I'd say, Sarah, you better take that IUD out, girl. And what we're gonna do is scoot on back to Florida where you have your parents. Enroll in some classes. Now, Sarah just have a degree in something. But what you can do is enroll in classes. You have to show a reason why you left. You don't want the reason to look like you're doing exactly what you're doing, which is trying to get multiple child support. But if you go ahead and you sign up for a class, maybe she wants to, she's going to take some wine mixology so she can be like a super VIP bartender. Or maybe she wants to be, I don't know, go to beauty school and says, my parents are there. They're my support system. Yeah. You can do that. Well, because I love to cite the case of the old pterodactyl. You guys, people who care about basketball, I don't. There's a basketball player named Chris Bosh. Okay. He is from Dallas, Texas. He used to play for the Raptors. To me, he looks like a dinosaur. But if you're watching, if you know who Christopher Bosh is, what happened is his baby's mom, I forget her name. I think it was like Alicia or something like that. She gets pregnant by him. They break up. She was allegedly notorious for being a groupie. And he's a real funny looking guy. So, I mean, something got to be going on for you to decide that's the one the baby you want to keep. But whatever. She gets pregnant by him. And he's from Dallas. He actually I think he went to Lincoln High School. She gets an attorney and she files for child support in Texas. Now, she went and got an AOL attorney, which means literally the attorney on her pleadings, her email address was AOL.com. Oh, wow. And I always say, if your lawyer got AOL, you probably going to jail. Okay? You're going to lose. Yeah. Because they not even Yahoo, AOL. They probably got dial up a long time ago. So she goes to court, and before court even ordered, she just put in a petition that said she wants to have a hearing to have child support set. His lawyer says, oh, here you go. At the time, child support was $1,500 a month at that time. Was the cap, right? He was making like $40 million. So so his lawyers said, you know what? The cap's $1,500 a month. I'm going to go ahead and give you $2,000. Here you go. And started giving her $2,000 a month, right? She was livid. Do you know this girl started going on the radio? I think she went on K104. She went and she filed for food stamps. She started doing this media tour of how Chris Bosh was just neglecting her child. This was his first child and the only child at the time. Well, what she did, so then what she tried to do is once her AOL lawyer found out that the cap was $1,500 per month, tried to get the case moved to Florida because at the time he was playing for the Miami Heat. Okay. Her dumbass lost. She would have gotten $33,000 a month based on Florida. 33. And so what they tried to argue, they had great arguments, which were that, oh, well, he has a Florida driver's license. His job is in Florida, blah, blah, blah. And the court said, it goes by where the kid is. Your kid is in Texas, and you filed in Texas. And Chris was arguing Texas was his hometown, so Texas was actually his domicile. But in that case, instead of her collecting $1,500 a month, it was she could have gotten $33,000. She was livid. She tried to do the transfer. It didn't work.
Well, you know what? Somebody just said they think that if the father is involved in the child's life, there shouldn't be child support.
That's not how that works.
Yeah,
no,
that's not how that works at all, right?
No, that sounds crazy. There should be child support because we don't want to have to ask you for Pampers. We don't want to have to ask you for soy milk. We don't want to have to ask you when the baby needs new sneakers. No, kids need things. That sounds stupid.
Yeah, and I get it. He's saying corrupt system. No, I'm going to tell you this. Now, one thing I don't agree with, and y'all probably disagree with me. I know when I went through my first divorce, I did not keep my ex-husband from seeing my son because he wasn't paying child support. I didn't believe that. I never did that.
Yeah, that's not cool.
I didn't do that. They're like, girl, I wouldn't let him see it because he ain't paying child support. I'm like, why am I going to penalize my son because he's not doing what he's supposed to do? You know, I get it. And he always, the joke is this, he always said, well, ain't like you ever going to get all that money anyway. Guess what, you guys? Ladies, just bide your time because guess what? I got a big fat check, or my son got a big fat check when that joker finally filed his income taxes. They hadn't filed in like 5 or 6 years.
Wow. And I do understand the person is saying if someone's an active father because that means they're going to be paying for things, but both sides have things to pay for. What really matters is the percentage of custody and visitation. So let's analogize this to the recent divorce case of Kandi Burruss. And
let's talk about that a little bit.
Kandi and Todd. So with Kandi Burruss and Todd, they have 50-50 custody, and so nobody pays anyone child support. So while I was being kind of silly, Mr. Gabar, and I was like, no, that's stupid. What we're probably, you and I, Mr. Gabar, are probably saying about the same thing, which is I do think if they make the same amount of money and they have 50-50 custody, then that's different. And that's what happened with Kandi. So according to the financial documents that I pulled, Kandi makes $22,000 a month, and so did Todd. And as a result, and then they agreed 50-50 with the kids. So it makes perfect sense that there's no child support either way. However, it did rule that if the kids go to private school, Kandi is going to pay for their private school. And he is responsible for the extracurriculars. That's actually kind of standard. I like seeing the dad being responsible for the extracurriculars because it gives them an incentive to also just participate, take them to practice, and so forth. And y'all know these competitive sports these days are expensive.
It's very expensive. It was expensive when I was doing it, and that's 50 years ago.
I want to touch on a comment. Somebody, I guess it was a gentleman named B. Johnson. He said his child lived with him and he still had to pay child support.
So that's because he did not go back to court and appeal it. So a lot of times what men do is they let these women guilt them. They love their kid. They want their children so bad that they tell them, please just give me my kid. I just want my kid. And so then they say, okay, I gave you the kid. And then, but I know so many, I had literally recently been in a disagreement with women who feel that if they give the father the kid, they shouldn't have to give the man child support because they made the baby. They feel that way because they made the baby.
So talk about that a little bit. So what you're saying, if he has a greater percentage of custody, he should be paid the child support, right? That's what
correct. So
I think it's different. I think he should be.
In the state of Texas, whoever is not the primary, no matter how much they make, if you work at McDonald's and you're not the primary, you have to give 20% of your income to the other one.
That's fair.
But other states are different. I'll give like California. Let's use Halle Berry as the example. Halle Berry's oldest, she had her daughter with a model. And even though Halle Berry had her daughter the majority of the time, she had to give him $10,000 a month because she made so much more than him. And California calculates it based on act like you guys are married, put the money in one household, and then you split it so that when the kids at the other house, they have a similar lifestyle. That's how California does it.
So I have a question. So we have so many men that are commenting. What's your advice to men that are saying that they're doing everything they're supposed to, but the mom is limiting their access to their child?
Call the police. Call the police. And every time I say that to me, they say, I can't call the police on my ex-wife. Then you don't really want to see your kid. If you don't believe me, Google Dwayne Wade and how he got custody of his kids. Here's the thing. Nobody likes going to jail. You only got to call the police on that woman one good time because failure to abide by the custody and visitation guidelines are grounds for you to then call the police. So you call the police, you get a police report made. You can go to the police station and say, it was my day, I flew here, X, Y, and Z. Now, police will tell you a lot of times, because sometimes they're lazy, they'll say, this is a civil matter. You say, that's fine, but I'm still entitled to a report that I can then share with family court. So you get, you call the police. Some police will actually arrest her. So what happened with Dwayne Wade, it was Father's Day weekend.
Okay.
And the kids were in, I don't know, Chicago or wherever she lived. He at the time was living in Florida. He sent, I want to say, his sister or one of his relatives to go pick up the children from her house so that they could have Father's Day weekend with him. She refused to release the kids. She said, well, I'm not releasing them to this woman. The woman had a copy of the court order. Police were called. She gets arrested. He got custody.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Yep. But you have to demand, they can say, even if they say anytime the police come to a location, they have to do some type of paperwork. Okay. So I'm sorry, Libya says they would not do a report either. When my ex refused to abide by the visitation, they told me every time they couldn't do anything. But you can document the fact that they've said, I can't do anything, by you can get their card. On the back of it, have them write the time of, because there's set times you're supposed to drop off and pick up. And then what you do is this. Once you've documented that they did not, that they're withholding the child, then you have what's called a contempt hearing. So if you guys Google this, Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner is like the super head of this generation, okay? Brittany Renner has a son with PJ Washington, who used to play for the Mavericks. Now he plays elsewhere. She got sentenced to 30 days in jail because she did not give the dad his child on his weekend. Wow. She did the same thing like what Dwayne Wade went through, which was specifically PJ got traded to another city. So PJ's mother came to come pick up the child. When it was PJ's visitation, she said, I'm not giving the kid to nobody but PJ. The police were called. It was documented. Then in family court, they presented that. And here's what the judge said. The judge said, you cannot, whoever he sends to come pick up his baby, give it to him. It's his weekend. If he wants to send a nanny, more than that, this was the grandmother. So you're just being messy. It was the grandma. The grandma's had the kid many times. So I really like how the judge handled that. And again, her name is Brittany Renner. You can look it up, Brittany Renner and PJ Washington.
Brittany Renner.
Brittany Renner, she was married, air quote, to Kevin Gates for 10 seconds.
Okay.
She was on Basketball Wives, although she's never been a basketball wife. And she's just a pretty little girl, lost soul, and who was raised by a whore. Anyway, so that's part of the story. That's part of the story too. But so what the judge did is the judge sentenced her to 30 days in jail for what she did, it being in contempt by not releasing the little boy to grandma. on the dad's visitation, but he suspended it. He said, I'm going to suspend this sentence, but if you ever do it again, you will be serving these 30 days.
So let me ask you this. Well, first of all, I want to remind everybody, share this live. Make sure you share the live. But I want to ask this. Do you think the fact that those are celebrities, I'm seeing comments from everyday common people that the system just doesn't seem to work that way for them.
I think they give up sooner. Number one, when you don't have a lawyer, you don't even know what to file sometimes. Number two, you're getting advice from other people who don't know what they're talking about. You're generally getting advice from someone else who's had a similar situation to you, but hasn't exercised all of their options. So, for example, most people don't know that, when with Brittany Renner, when she refused to give grandma the child, yes, the police did say this is a civil matter, but there was video that the police were there. They were called. She didn't release the child, and that was sufficient. They then had to have a hearing, and it did take 5 months for the judge to make that order. But what it is it's kind of like my daddy used to tell me, like I was really skinny and thin in high school. And he used to say, sometimes you got to act so crazy one good time and just whoop somebody's tail. One good time, real good, to where they don't mess with you no more.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's why I say sometimes you have to use the law when you're talking about, oh, this person is withholding visitation. 90% of the time that I hear men say that, I say, oh, what's your custody order? He say, oh, I don't have a custody order. There ain't nobody hold nothing.
Because there's no order.
Exactly. And here's the thing, men and women, whoever is not the primary parent, when we live in a day of social media now, and I'm over here in Bali, and I met this guy who was complaining that his child's mother, for one of his children, withholds the child. I said, that's your fault. He said, what do you mean? I do everything. I said, who's your lawyer? He said, I don't have one. He said, I don't want to be in the system. I don't want to file. I said, here's the problem. Your child is 16 years old, and he sees your social media, and he sees you flying to Bali, popping bottles, doing this and that. But you ain't never hired a lawyer to fight for custody or just a structured visitation. So if you got money for bottles, you got money for an attorney to simply set up the rights. And this is more so, I'm not talking about people who've been in and out of court 5-10 years dealing with an unreasonable ex. I'm talking about the people who never even started.
They just let the system, whatever it is, just right. So I have a question.
It's whatever the other person wants. It's like, well, whatever. If the mom's going to give me visitation, I'll take it. And the truth of the matter is 90% of the time, those men, they use the dick system, okay? They try to give a little here and do it. They do it short. They keep a relationship thinking, oh, okay, if I let her think I still love her, then she's going to give me access to the child. Ain't nobody got time for that.
So you know I got to ask. You know I'm going to go there. So I want to shift gears for a second. I got to shift because we got some other. So I want to shift. People know you from, of course, Ready to Love, right? And that whole thing, you were so evident. You were very transparent about everything that happened. We deal with relationship issues on a daily basis here. What's some of the best advice you think you can give these ladies and men that are out here? And men, we're not going to leave y'all out when it comes to selecting a companion. Because
number one, trust your intuition. When was the last time your intuition was wrong? Never. I think a lot of times women don't want to trust their intuition because they feel like, oh, but he seems so great. Maybe this is my turn to have the Prince Charming. Oh my God, this is so great. He's probably nuts. By that, what I mean is when people try to move too fast, too quickly, they're usually hiding something really severe. And they generally watch out for people who want to love bomb you and then meet your family, meet your cousins, meet your best friend, meet everyone. The reason they do that is because they want everyone to like you. They want everyone to say, or to like them, and for people to say, "Oh my God, you guys seem like such a great couple," so that when their real self comes out, you're too embarrassed to break up.
Okay, so in your opinion, should every woman on here do a background check on whoever they are dating? And if so,
Everyone.
how should they go about it?
Yes, everyone. You can call me at 855-4-Symone. That's Symone with a Y. I can do one for you. You can use, there's Truth Finder, there's Been Verified. You can use any of those. And let me tell you this, if you do a background check on that person and nothing comes up, they've lied to you about their name.
Whoa, slow down with that. What does that mean?
Okay. So what that means is this. I've had people come to me and say, "Oh, I want a background check on Kevin Brian Claremont." Okay, making up a name, and then I go and I put it in. Nothing comes up. Not a parking ticket. Not an apartment. Nothing. Yes, at some point, Kevin went to high school. Okay. He was on the JV basketball team, or he walked on to the college team. Something should come up. So if nothing is coming up at all, they're probably lying about their name. So that is a key. Just something should come. Like I said, even if it's a parking ticket, just a little something. I had that happen to me, only to find out he had inverted his name. Like he told me his last name was Grant, and it was really Granderson. And that's because he didn't want me to know that, like, he went to jail for some stuff and was going through a foreclosure and an eviction. So,
what did you learn from your experience?
Your personal experience.
What you went through?
So men say women are not clear on what we want or what y'all want. Y'all make us guess. I learned I was too clear because I said exactly what I was looking for. He just pretended to be that. You should know what you want, and then give them the opportunity to just share themselves and show themselves with you. Because what ended up happening is he was so good at lying that, like, so for example, everyone knows I do background checks.
Yep, we do.
So he started getting debts in other people's names, so that when I would pull his credit and do the back, because I didn't lie, I told him I'm doing it. It wouldn't come up. It would, because it would be in other people's names. Wow. It would be under other people's debts, which also meant he couldn't even file for bankruptcy.
Because it was all in other people's names.
Other people. It was like in his mama's name. And it was really, so I say that to say he was such a good liar. He was one step ahead of me in lying. So, because So when that happens, you just got to forgive yourself. So you got to scam them.
That's really bad when he hits.
So what happened? Oh, what did they say?
No, they said, but if you say, this is, I guess they're talking, I want you to address this. They said, if you're low key and low maintenance, people tend to treat you that way. Do you think that's the case?
Low key and low. No, not necessarily. It's gratefulness. The more grateful you are, the more they want to spoil you. So the more you're like, so I had to learn, instead of being like I can't stand when a man comes over and I cooked and he doesn't take my trash out. So instead of being like, I ain't never had no man not take my trash out after I cook for him, I say, oh my gosh, I say, you know what? When you came over on Tuesday and you took that trash out for me that last time, boy, I want to tell you, that was so helpful for me because I was in a rush the next day and I didn't have time to put my trash out, and you really helped me out. So I think it's the gratefulness.
Yeah.
The more grateful you are, they're like, oh, wow, if you like this, wait till I surprise you with this picnic or with this trip or with this or that. So don't be afraid, I say, to be yourself.
So for the ladies out here, you mentioned he morphed into what you said, okay?
Correct.
So give the ladies some advice here on the do's and don'ts on when you're first meeting somebody. And so that you do differently, or what you would advise them to do differently than you did.
Okay. Got it. I also want to speak to something. True One said, I'd love to hear his side of the story. You can Google it. He gave it for an inspired. You can go on Dear Future Wifey. Yeah, you can go to Dear Future Wifey. He did a whole interview there.
I think you both are on there together, right?
Yeah, we did two. We did two together, and then he has his own YouTube channel, so he's got versions of his story. But your question was what to do differently. Oh, the other thing is, number one, as soon as you see the sign, go ahead and go. It's okay. Go faster.
That's facts.
Go faster.
Yeah.
And go faster. For me, like, I had no business letting that man be my boyfriend without his affairs in order. I remember when he asked me to be like, he was bringing me to his family reunion. So he was like, will you be my girlfriend? I was like, shit, I guess I got to say yes now. You want to family reunion, right? But really, I wanted to be like, well, no, honey, not till you get your financial affairs in order. And financial affairs, what I meant by that is I'm a lawyer. And there would be, like, we would be getting summons, and he would get summonses and notices for unpaid debts that would just keep coming and coming and coming. And I wish that I had said, I said, let's come up with a financial plan to get yourself out of debt. I said, even if it's bankruptcy, if we end up getting engaged, don't worry about bankruptcy, because if there's a house or something that we need, I can get it under my credit, but we have to have a plan. So for me, it was coming up with a plan, but then ensuring that my partner is sticking to it. So he agreed to the plan, but there was no sticking to it. So I say that to say, don't look for perfection, because for me, I was like, okay, these are his challenges. But what I was okay about is that I don't believe in changing men, right? Mm-hmm. And what I was okay about is the challenge that he had, which was he was financially irresponsible in his past. Mm-hmm. He was more upset about it than I was at the beginning of the relationship.
Do you think that was or embarrassment?
Well, that, and with narcissism, you make yourself the victim. Okay. You beat yourself up. Yeah. You say, oh, I'm so stupid. I can't believe it. And so then a person like me would be like, no, you're not. You just didn't know financial habits. And then, like, I'm setting him up with a financial planner. I'm setting up with the resources to fix it. So what I'm saying is, it said he should have worked with me.
This is great. I want to segue. I know this is off the topic, but you know how we do it.
Go for it.
You and I are so big about Black wealth, Black love, just Black in general, right? That's how we are. What do you think? What do you see as the biggest problem between Black men and Black women right now? Why we can't seem to come together? Because we talk about this a lot on our show, and it seems like there's always an attack, and it's very disheartening.
I think fundamentally one of our biggest problems is unrealistic expectations of marriage. Mm-hmm. Financially, marriage is one of the easiest way to, like, be ready for retirement and things like that. But unfortunately, we are now like a generation of people who, I have friends now whose grandmas were never married. Their mamas were never married. They were never married.
50%. Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when you're not raised by a wife, it's very difficult to have a understanding of what marriage really looks like. Mm-hmm. It looks so much fun on TV and things like that, but that's on social media. Mm-hmm. But it's unrealistic. So I think there's a lot of uncommunicated. Yes, someone says uncommunicated expectations. Yes, but also unrealistic expectations of one another. I was telling someone that I'm dating. They were like, you have so many different kinds of friends. Like, how is that? Why is that? And I said, well, I've learned that what's unique about me is my love adapts. I love each friend and each man differently. I understand that one day this man's 10% may actually be his 100%. He may just have just a little bit to give me when he comes home from work because his job is just beat the hell out of him with a whole bunch of crap, right? So my expectations of him or that person shift. Same thing with my girlfriends. I have a ho-hum girl I talk about. I'm not bringing her to church with me, although I probably should.
Wait,
I will bring her to the club.
Hold on. Did you call her a ho-hum girl?
Yeah, I call her like Maggie.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna call her Maggie, like Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, I got
the original whore in the Bible, Maggie.
Yeah, it ties right in. Keep going. She's good.
So what I'm saying is that a lot of times in relationships, with your love, you need to adapt the way you love your partner, because sometimes what was their best on day one or in the beginning, they don't have it to give. Maybe they're depressed. Maybe it's their first layoff.
Right. Yeah.
But I think but what I've seen overall is I have so many girlfriends whose moms were never, ever married. They've never seen what a marriage looks like.
Yeah.
So their expectations are just crazy.
That's what you always say. They don't know what it looks like.
They don't know what it looks like. So they have no gauge to go on, no example that they can reflect on.
Correct. Yep. And then here's the harder part. When you have a mama, and let me just be honest, like my grandmama on my daddy's side, she had 5 husbands, okay? Back in that day, all you had to do was get pregnant to get a husband, okay? So, but now, it's true. But now, we got people.
Yeah, that's not
gay.
That means nothing.
No, child support's too low. Shit, you got 2 kids. The child support's too low. They say, I'm not marrying you. So, as a result, because they've never seen their mom compromise with a man or have to king tut him, which is, like, oh, baby, you're so smart. You're so great, even though he ain't that smart and he ain't that great, but he's having a bad day. And let's just make him feel special today. You've never had to see any of that. One, you may not realize how necessary it is, how to do it, or also your expectations of how he is to love you may be something that aren't realistic for him to meet either.
Right. So when you think about, you see it all the time, men and women both, they want peace. What does peace look like to you?
Peace to me looks like anticipating my needs. It looks like being attentive. So anticipating my needs, for example, if I'm going to have a long mediation tomorrow and you pack me a snack pack. And you have some fruit ready for me to grab and take on the way to work. And when I come home and from work, you have dinner ready for me. Peace is not expecting perfection of me. A lot of times when you have a job like a lawyer, you expect someone to be great at everything. Bitch, I can't spell. I use spell check. So leave me alone. So peace to me is accepting my authenticity and my flaws and having reasonable expectations of me. And I got that from, I feel like my mom always says, there's something wrong with everybody, just pick you somebody, date you somebody where you don't mind whatever it is, you feel like you can work with them. Well, I really like me and who I am today because I've gotten myself to a point where I know exactly what's wrong with me. If we go on a first date and a man said, oh my God, you're so perfect. I can't believe you're single. I was like, well, I can tell you what's wrong with me if you'd like. And I'm not supposed to say that anymore. But for example, I'm like, well, I have ADD, so I'm late a lot. You're going to have to lie to me about what time starts, what time things starts. I burn food a lot. I'm going to cook it with love, but it might be nasty, but that's okay because then we could always Uber eat. But I say that to say I've gotten myself to a point where I know I'm self-aware enough to know my flaws.
Yeah.
And I have a solution for them. So for me, peace is the partner who says, I know my girl is disorganized and messy, but she loves me so much. This happened in a relationship. She loves me so much that she hires a housekeeper to keep her house clean. And in the relationship with him, I was over at his house so much. Once a week, I sent my housekeeper to his house.
See? So that was a question somebody had. How do you give peace to your man? What do you do for him? Because a lot of times we're so like, what are you going to do for me? What are some things that you've learned to do for him to create that? So
first, I had to be self-aware enough to recognize, how am I annoying? What are some annoying things about me, right? One of them is I'm messy. So in the relationship, like I said, I sent my housekeeper once a week to clean his house. Do you know when we went he wanted to go to therapy. I wanted to break up. But when we went to therapy, he got mad and he complained. He told the therapist, she's so irresponsible. Can you believe she sent a housekeeper to my house? And the therapist goes,
what?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, that's irresponsible. That's a grown woman who can't clean up behind herself. I said, did I not?
Wow. You look different to him.
I said, look, is something going to be wrong with everybody? You can go back to the last girl you had who was a whore with chlamydia, who cleans up behind herself. You're welcome to go back over there. I don't mind. And me and my housekeeper, and I'll keep the $100 a week I was spending to clean your house. But there's something like, go back over there.
They not, see, our producers over here just, see, I'm so used to you. Yeah.
Oh, you are.
I'm just like, let her cook. Somebody said, you passed the bar and kept your black card. Hey, y'all know why. Y'all want to know why I be going off all the time. Y'all see my partner, right? There you go. Can y'all imagine us together? This is how we do it.
Symone, say that you fell in love and you all are committed to one another. Please share with us, how important is a prenup?
Oh, 100%. I write them for fun. In law school, so I went to Cornell Law. Sometimes I would like, ooh, when I grow up, this is what my prenup's going to look like. Ooh, and I have like a provision that I want in there. It's my favorite one. It's going to say, if he gets caught cheating, as a penalty, I'm going to receive like a $25,000, or depending how much money we have, or $50,000 penalty provision, which this is the wording. It's going to say, which can be used for the mommy makeover or plastic surgery of her choice.
That's your prenup. That's what you're going to put in your prenup.
It's going to have to say that. Here's why. That way, when he comes to pick up our son, and our son's AAU coach answers the door with no shirt on, and he's 15 years younger than me, he's got to wonder if that 50 went to a new boobies,
Whatever.
All of them. That's how I got the coach. That's how I got that AAU coach right there. And I'm not joking.
She's not joking. Because let me tell you, one of the transactions we closed at the title company, this is the first time I've had it where it was two very professional people, but the woman, I think I told you this, she invested 60%. Right. She invested 60% on title, and the guy invested 40% on title. And I was like, oh my God, so it wasn't 50-50. So y'all, she's not kidding.
Yeah, no. And you know, in college, right? And I had one serious boyfriend in college, and he laughs and talks about how I made him sign a prenup in college. Because what happened is I got a really big refund check, but I was studying abroad in London. And with the refund check, flat screen TVs had just come out. And we're at Sam's Club, and they had one for $700. Baby, that was a lot of money back then. And so so the agreement was, when I came back from studying abroad, he let me stay for free in his campus apartment if I was going to buy the TV. So I said, okay. So I bought the TV. We get back to the house. I wrote on a piece of notebook paper, if we break up, this is your acknowledgement that the TV is mine and it's coming with me.
Love it.
He could not believe it. I was 19. He was like, what kind of girlfriend makes you? I said, well, baby, didn't you just tell me it's my TV? You said that at the store. So I'm just making you agree to what you said. Girl, how come? So we did that. it ends up, I go away for the summer, and I come back I come back a day early, and so I go by his place, knock on the door to surprise him. He's not there. And then I go inside, the door is open. On his bed is a love note from his high school sweetheart, who's now a freshman. And she says, last night was so amazing. Thank you for everything. I knew giving you my virginity would be the highlight of my life. And then it's facing my TV. Girl, it was facing my TV. Girl, my homegirl dropped me over there, like gave me a ride because she had just picked me up from the airport. And she had just been in a real bad car accident. I said, Amber, I need you to pop one of them back spasm pills you just got from the doctor. Pop it. She said, why? I handed her the note. I just showed her. I said nothing. I showed her the note. She said, oh, hell no. He was on the 3rd floor. We shifted that bad boy, because that was a flat screen that had a big back in the back.
Yeah,
we did that.
The old school.
I stole that sucker back, and then we got somebody else to put it in my apartment. I have my own apartment. He calls me. He come back for football practice. You stole my effing TV. I'm calling the cops. I said, call them. Call them. And when you do, bring me that $500 you owe me, because I got the prenup you signed right here. Oh, and I also added the prenup. They owe me $500 or something else. And I said, bring my money. He was so mad. But so that's why you need a prenup.
Breaking and entering.
I broke that entering so bad. I burglarized that Negro. And the statute of limitations has expired.
Somebody said that's why you don't take things from women. You just do not.
That's right. That's right.
They don't understand. It's not toxic. This one kept saying she toxic. No, you guys, she's smart.
She's
not toxic. She's smart.
She's thinking
right. Thank you.
Macamal, that's a damn fake. No, it's not. Prenup is a bit much. No, it ain't.
It depends on who you're dealing with.
I'm so mad.
I was a ceiling fan.
I'm so mad I don't have a picture of it, but that was back when we had, those disposable cameras that you then got to take it to the CVS or whatever. But yeah, he to this day, I don't talk to him no more because he's weird. But yeah,
prenup is not toxic. So I have to ask this: do people ever call you an alpha female?
Only people that don't know me, like at work, maybe.
Yeah.
At work, maybe. Yeah. At work, yeah. I need to stop saying things to strangers. Like yesterday, I was in Phuket, Thailand, and there's this street with a bunch of hookers, and lady boys is what they call them, which are girls with dick. And this, I don't know what came over me. It was too many mojitos. And this man had his daughters, who appeared to be like 8 and 10 years old, walking down the street. And I just looked at him and I said, why would you bring them here? Why does this make sense? And you know what he did? He looked at me and he says, I know you're right.
Wow.
So
is he trying to sell them?
He turned them around and got them out of there.
Wow.
I don't know, but I say that to say, I guess that's a bit of an alpha female of me. It just literally, it's my ADD. I'm unmedicated. And so I just say the things that come to my brain. I wasn't trying to hurt his feelings, but he knew it. And he took his cell phone back to his hotel or wherever he came from after that.
I don't tell you when you say anything. So we got, y'all, this is sad. So you got an ADD and you got an ADHD. Can y'all imagine us being in the same place? But mom stays on us all the time. ADD and ADHD. So that's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. I don't even know which one I have, but I know I'm at the top 5%.
ADHD.
Pastor Michael.
Okay. Whatever I have, they said I'm at the top 5%. The therapist said, I don't know how you made it through Ivy League education without being on medication.
Wow.
I said, oh my God, I feel like a genius. Thank you.
Somebody's equal toxic body. Whatever, Macamal. That's not a toxic body. You know that.
No, Macamal is saying it's toxic for me to write the prenup because he would have wanted to keep my TV. He would have wanted to try to keep my TV and cheat on me at the same time. No. Hell no.
Like my daddy said, that dog ain't going hunt.
No.
With a cabbage. I'm glad you took that TV.
Before we get into that, I do have a quick question. Hypothetically, let's just say that Dak, back to the original topic. Dak and this
Yeah.
chick had gotten married and
Yes.
then had a blow up and then divorced after or separated after a month. How would that have changed the dynamic of her in the child support or what she got? You know what I mean? Would that have changed that they have gotten
After
married?
1 month, okay. So after 1 month, the answer is it doesn't change child support at all.
Okay.
In Texas, you cannot get spousal support until there's at least 10 years. So she wouldn't have been eligible for spousal support. However, if in that 1 month he got some new contract, she might be able to argue for half of that. A judge wouldn't give it to her.
Okay. Like with some endorsements or something like that.
Right. A Texas judge, so you got to go up there to Collin County. Collin County, those judges, they hate women. Well, not. Yeah,
really?
that's really they don't like get rich quick scheme. They think everybody is trying to get over on the system, and that you should always pull yourself up by the bootstraps, even if you don't have no boots. So, but I did want to touch on something else because someone had asked, or maybe I had seen a comment that said, "What if Dak didn't marry the girl, right? But they do common law?" Well, that's genius too. What I think he should do, if he were my client, I'd say, what you need to do is do that. She's not that smart, so she's not going to figure it out. Which is, so in Texas, here's the true way of common law. People think, if you get mail at someone's house and you live there for a few years. No, you have to tell the public you are husband and wife. You have to, if you go to church, you have to say, this is my wife, this is my husband. Including, this was on the bar exam for Texas, how I know. If you say, this is my girlfriend, or this is my fiance, no common law. Yep. So, if I was him, I would just forever call her the girlfriend, or call her the fiance. He will never have to give her, they could be together 20 years. She's not getting nothing.
What if she called him my husband in public and he did not correct it?
That's a good one.
Great question. If he doesn't do the same, then it doesn't matter.
Wow. So
it has to be neutral.
That, though? How can
here's where it came from. So there was a Texas case where there was a couple who did the common law, husband and wife. They had some kids together. They did that. And then she was sick of his butt. And she ended up winning the lottery. They break up. She goes on her merry way. He finds out she won the lottery. He files for divorce. She says, you can't file for divorce. We were never married. He said, you told them people at the church that I was your husband. Well, she said it because she didn't want to live in sin. Don't matter. Because both of them walked around telling people, this my husband, this my wife. She had to split that lottery ticket with that man.
Pastor Mike said, we won the lottery.
Not you, we
won the. So she had to split it?
She had to split her lottery ticket. That's right. Because you do not get to run around telling people, hey, we're a couple.
And you lying.
And then when it's not convenient, no, we're not no couple.
We ain't going to do that. Yeah.
Wow. I ain't gonna give him half my lottery winnings.
Wow.
Or he could say partner. You know, he could say, this is my partner.
That's messed up.
Because a partner ain't a wife. And the reason the law says that is because if someone is calling you their girlfriend, boyfriend, or fiance, you know they are not thinking of you as a spouse. And if you're telling the world that, the world knows this is not your spouse.
Mm-hmm. But you just said partner, so partner, spouse, husband, wife, those are synonymous. Partner?
No. I don't know. So partner is gray to me as an attorney because gay people call each other partners, and sometimes gay people be married. Mm-hmm. So that's why I wouldn't. I'm not sure legally in Texas how partner would go, but arguably, if you're using partner from the context of we are not married, you're fine. So it don't matter how long you live with the person, how much mail they get at your house. They can even call themselves Mrs. Prescott. if you walk around telling people, this is my fiance or girlfriend and not my wife, y'all can never be common law in Texas. You are not common law in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if it's one side; it has to be both of them. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because the other person knows it's not true. Yeah, correct.
What do you know another state where that would be different? Like, if they simply just live together, that's just considered it.
So I'm not 100% sure. I have heard that in California, getting mail and things like that can create common law. And there's no minimum time period in Texas. So if you guys got together and in the first month start calling each other husband and wife, you're common law. In California, they're a lot more lax. But then you have other states like Georgia. Remember, there's Yandy and Mendices from Love and Hip Hop.
Mm-hmm.
And they told everyone they got married. They had a wedding even in Dubai on the show. They've never actually been married. Georgia has no common law. So he can't get anything from her. He couldn't file for divorce. And that's probably why he's been having all these girlfriends. Because he said, I ain't got no wife, so why not have a girlfriend?
So now I'm going to tell you guys that common law thing does not apply to real estate. Do you hear me? Because we have it happen all the time where a woman been living with a man 20, 30 years. He passes away. She does not own that property. You know what I mean? And I've seen the kids put her out on her behind. And
they sure will.
And she has nothing. So don't think for a second, okay, he called me his wife. Honey, if it ain't on that paper.
And to clarify, with the common law like that, you really need to solidify it in some way before the person dies.
Yes.
So if it had been a real estate transaction where that had been solidified in some way before they died, let's say that person, worked for a police department, and on the life insurance beneficiary, they named the woman and then say, my wife, so-and-so, even though they never actually had a ceremony. You've now got something formalized during life. But after somebody dies, you don't get to start talking about, oh, no, girl, you are the special friend. And that's how you need to be referenced in the obituary.
Wow.
Listen, I was dating somebody and I told him that. That's probably why Pastor Mike saying that. You know, Pastor Mike, I said, I said, I'll be darned if you're going to list me as their special friend. And that's exactly how I say it. No.
I do have a question because we're all in real estate. So I had a couple, this lady called me one day and she's like, I'm ready to sell the house. Okay. So I go over there for the listing appointment and she says, I go in the house and I was like, oh, there was a guy there. I said, oh, nice to meet you. You were married or nothing, right? And so she's like, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend, such and such. We bought the house together. I said, oh, no, ma'am. I said, sir, are you wanting to sell the house? He said, nope.
But if he's on the title,
he was. I said, are you both? Are you both on the title? He said, yep. And I said,
yes, we do.
It's been nice meeting you. Until y'all are on the same page, I cannot intervene.
Right.
So can you talk to people who may think it's cool at first to buy a property like that with someone that is not their spouse and how the issues can arise from that?
Yes. And let's be honest about why. You need to think about if you are the woman or you are the man. The reason someone would want to do that when you're not married is either, number one, they think it's going to push you towards marrying them.
Right.
And do you really want to be with somebody who has to connive their way into a marriage? Connive their way into a marriage? If I got to do all that, no. Or two, it's a person who really wants that property and can't qualify on their own. I had a homegirl. She had her own business. She didn't never keep her paperwork right. Got 5011 tax deductions, which show an income of $27,000 a year, although she made far, far more. So she needed the boyfriend of the year to co-sign to get her new house.
See what I'm saying? Yeah,
that part.
Okay, but here's what if you're going to do that, which I think is not a great idea. What you need to do then is make sure that the loan you get is an assumable loan. That way, when you guys, here's how assumable works. What it means is when y'all break up, because you're going to break up, because you had no business doing it in the first place. But
Okay.
when you break up, you can basically get him off the paperwork and you keep the payments exactly as they are. Because see, the problem is, go ahead.
I do have something to say about that. So in
Please.
this scenario, let's just say the payoff was the loan was $250,000, but the value of the home was $500,000. So there's $250,000 worth of equity. So yes, they can assume it, but how, unless they have the cash or whatever to give that other person the equity, now what?
Then you have to go to court and the judge will have to get an order. And that's the expensive part they are not thinking about, right?
That's
so
what I
you're
want
right.
you to make sure people are hearing, because they're not
you gotta go to court.
that.
And the thing is, it's actually easier to handle something like that in a divorce, right? Because it's very standardized. And that's one of all of the assets. You would literally be filing a lawsuit just for that. Or you could go to a mediator and perhaps come to an agreement that says, when I sell this house, I'm going to give you your percent. But that's unlikely.
Correct.
That's unlikely.
I know somebody.
Most people, if y'all are breaking up, they want their money. Yeah. When y'all are breaking up, that other person wants their equity right then and right there, and they don't want to see you no more. They want you to get the hell away from them.
Goodbye. Right.
And I think it's also, I want to let people know that if you are taking title in the state of Texas as husband and wife, most of the time you're doing that as joint tenants in common. That's the thing. So that's why 50% goes to the kids. However, you do understand that you guys can make a request that it's joint rights to survivorship. So that if the husband or wife passes away, automatically all of it goes to the surviving spouse. But you have to request that at your title company. That's something.
Yeah. Also, background check tip, guys. If you're dating someone who claims that they own a house, right, and you want to see if they're married, go to the county deed records, put their name in. First, you'll find out, do they own that house or do they mama own the house? I remember this guy told me, oh, my mom stays with me. No, you stay with her. I pulled up the deed. It's her house. But then secondly, when you pull the deed, and it's free in every county to look at deeds. It might cost if you want to actually purchase a copy, but to look at it, it's going to say whether they purchased that house as husband and wife or individual or what. So if you see that and you see husband and wife, you better go look for a divorce decree, girl or boy or whoever's looking. But yeah, deed records can be the easiest place to find out if that person has been married or perhaps is still married. Because the deed must state, if you are married, it must state that you're married. It will even say a married person, this is his separate property if it's going to be their separate property. But it will say their marital status.
And we see these questions all the time.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Don't look me up. I'm married." Okay, Pastor Mike, we know. And ladies, y'all, let me tell you this is a personal story that happened to me. I found out a guy had been married 5 times.
Oh,
how'd you find out, T?
Well, because when I was talking to him, one thing I always do is try to find different places they've lived. Because don't just go off of the fact that they're in Dallas County now. This joker had lived in other little towns. And I was like, well, So in my mind, I'm making a mental note of all these places this joker done lived. And I'm going to call him a joker. Because that's what he was.
Yeah.
His online ordination. Because he was a pastor. No offense to my pastors on here.
None taken.
So I went and looked him up in these other counties.
Pastors be having the worst. Pastors, policemen, and I forget the other one. They be having the worst credit. But keep going.
Look, for $50, you can find out anything about anybody. There you go.
Right.
Listen, he had been married. And so when I confronted him about it, this joker gonna tell me that 2 of them didn't count. Why? Because
two. Because they were dumb.
2 of them didn't count.
Because why?
He had them annulled.
Oh my gosh, that means you're not learning from your lessons. I think he's a slow learner.
I got rid of that man so fast. After that, he ended up in Dubai. This is when I told you, send me that picture with Huffington Post. Remember?
Yes, but I do have a question. How long do you have to be married? Like, if I wanted to get something annulled, how long? Do I have a time frame? Like, 90 days or less?
Every state is different. Every state is
Texas?
different. I don't remember what it is for Texas. I knew when I took the bar. But it also depends on the reason. If it's like fraud can be like he said he can have kids and he really didn't. He really can't.
Why you gonna throw that out there?
That's why I was like, because if I had gotten married, it would have been annulled, and my daddy would be in jail. But anyway, that's one. If oh my gosh, there's this case over here. There's this case over here in Bali. They got me cracking up laughing. You're not really allowed to be gay over here. Bless their gay hearts. And so this one gay lady dressed as a man and fell in love with this woman and married her. And they were married almost a year before the other one found out that she was really married to a girl and a boy.
What?
Yes. So that would be grounds for annulment. So it's like it's fraud.
What happened? How
You're confused. Wait, you're saying they were married before? What?
No, so a woman thought she was marrying a man.
Okay.
But really, she was marrying a stud.
Oh.
And did not find out about it until about 8 months into the marriage.
How is that
and
possible?
So, I don't know, equipment and other weird. She said that she never saw her wife naked. The wife would never. The wife just said she was insecure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like 8 months. And also, I think they were one of those like religious couples where they didn't do anything until marriage. And so then when the marriage came, it was like lights off only, whatever. But now the stud is in jail. She's in jail.
How long did she get?
I think they trying to give her like 4 years or something like that. She gonna be there for. I said she might like it because is she gonna be around a whole bunch? I don't know.
She might, girl. She might.
Oh my
so
goodness.
the reasons are, and some of y'all don't be trying to go out there and get no annulments because one of the things is mental illness or mental incapacity.
Yes. Oh yeah, baby. These bipolar men, they will drive you through it. Okay, if they don't, but it has to be something where they did not tell you before. Yeah. If they tell you and then you do it to them, yes, sex with them. That's like consenting to it, then you can't say there's a reason. Once you find out whatever that reason is, you gotta skedaddle. You have to
back up on the speaker.
Yeah, your speaker went
your mic.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
Sorry about that. So I was saying, but whatever the reason is with an annulment, once you find out the reason, you then have to separate. So you can't find out whatever it is and stay with them for 6 more months. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a time. There is I guess, a time frame.
I wish I'd known when I was married before.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But no, but the time frame varies.
I wish back in the day, I wish I'd known because he presented himself differently than what he was when we were married. We were together for less than 4 months.
So you could have got him.
Oh, yes.
I wish I could have got him annulled. I do.
It depends on what it is, though. Like, for example, for fraud, it doesn't necessarily have to be a year because you may not discover the fraud until 2-3 years down the line.
Years ago, but I'm just saying, like, I wish somebody might need to know this. That's why I asked.
That's what
absolutely. I know in Georgia there is no limit because I'm working with somebody on one in Georgia.
What? You could have been married for 20 years
and get an annulment?
Yeah. Maybe they had a dick and they're a lady. I don't know. That's fraud.
Yeah, that's fraud.
That's fraud.
Well, listen, I appreciate you so much, especially since I know it's after midnight there.
We are so appreciative.
1 o'clock in the morning now?
Yeah, it is
some knowledge today.
Oh, yes, I've enjoyed. I'm sorry I couldn't show my face. Oh, I'm so sick.
That's okay.
I've literally been drinking water over here, but I've enjoyed it, girls. Okay, and I'm gonna watch y'all next week and check you guys out. Please. And let me know if y'all have any follow-up questions. Y'all I don't know if they can put it in the chat when it's over. Do you save the lives?
Somebody said, please.
Yeah, we posted on YouTube.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yay, I would love to.
We'll see you there. Okay. Love you, sis, and I'll see you when you get back to the States.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Oh, my goodness.
Fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh
you guys had any questions, post them. comments, post them. Legal Bestie will be more than happy to answer. Y'all can tell.
She's funny. She's
no filter. Our poor producer over here, I think she just done
made
dug
it through
a hole.
though, but barely.
But let me tell you, I know she done dug some holes over there in that table and that countertop. I tried to warn him. I love it because she's just straight. She gives it to you straight with no chaser, and that's what I love.
Yeah, Nico said he learned a lot. Very good.
Exactly. That's what, and you know what? That's her passion is about, education. She loves that. She loves to educate you guys. It's key. And make sure y'all catch her on Girl Is That Legal. Go out there, find her on a YouTube channel, subscribe to it, y'all. I'm telling you, she gives it to you straight, entertaining facts, and she be spitting that knowledge.
Hey, Chef.
Hey, Chef.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We'll be back on next Thursday.
Yes.
What?
Oh, we were talking about the what now? Our producer's gonna have to do it.
Yeah, you have to write it down.
She's
Like,
gonna
we're like,
write it down.
what?
Oh, make sure you go out there and check our
love your pink
t-shirt.
earrings.
Thank you, sweet honey. I got silver for her too, girl. Listen, go out there. Make sure you visit the TNTpodcast.net where we've got our t-shirts there and some other cool cool. But they ain't there yet. But that's on you. They'll be there for those of you that have asked. Oh, you're talking about. Oh, yeah. We're talking about polygamy.
So she wanted us to tell you guys what we're talking about next week because we've gotten so many. We got a letter about this.
Somebody said they finna touch their man to see if you got you know what.
You know what? You better touch it.
Hey, how long y'all been together,
girl?
You should have already. You should have already checked that out now. Come on,
there ain't no way, no how.
Somebody said they're gonna do it today after work. Okay.
So y'all, we saw this reel, okay, and it had a dude, and he was married to 2 chicks.
Hey, Joseph.
Then they brought another chick in. So he was married to 3 women. So why is polygamy something that people are interested in now? So that's what we're going to talk about next week.
Because they falling away from the
Because that
Lord.
devil is a lie.
The devil is a big
lie.
bald
Come on
face
now.
lie.
No.
I'm going to tell you right now, shoot, only thing I share is my opinion. I ain't sharing my man.
Not even
How about
close.
that?
So that's what we're going to talk about next week. Should be interesting because that's some sort of crazy phenomenon that's going on and we do not understand. It is weird.
It is weird.
It's very weird. I can't. What?
And
Who's got
I'm
time
tell
for
you
that?
right now, and listen.
Who can
none
afford
of y'all
that?
yahoos, jokers, ninjas, don't come over here talking about in the Bible days. That's Old Testament.
What you talking about? Oh,
They always try to
you're
do the
Yeah,
Lord
no,
like
that
that.
won't happen.
Don't do that.
All
All
right,
right,
y'all.
not crazy. Yes, it is Soup the Trucker. It is crazy. You know it's crazy.
Well,
ain't
you
you the
can
one
give your
with one
opinion.
wife? Wait, is this the dude that was married to that dated his wife 4 years before he married?
I'm not sure.
Are you the one?
Wait a minute. C-Trey says a brother in Ohio got 4 of them and he stay at home. He a stay at home.
See?
What?
He
what
working-
kind of nonsense
Girl.
is that?
You know what?
We need to have him on the show.
That's modern day welfare. That's what he found out. He just found a way to get him some benefit, and they probably get snapped.
That's
at the
terrible.
Same
That's
time.
terrible.
Girl, 4 of them. I
No.
wish
All
I
right.
would.
All right, y'all. Okay, we're signing off till next week. Have an amazing afternoon,
Somebody
y'all.
said, right?
No. Goodbye.
Toodles,
Later,
y'all.